Just wait for a few people to join into the conversation. This is the Super Secret Scope. My name's Simon Gray, and I run a business called Codex. Welcome, young nasty man KG. Welcome. Where are you from? Anyone joining the room? Where are you from tonight? Let me know. It's about 8:30 here in the UK, so it's been a long day. Italy. I wish I could speak some Italian. I'd welcome you, but buongiorno. There we go. How was that? So welcome. We're gonna kick off in a moment, but we're going to talk about business tonight. We're going to talk about how you start a business. So many of you who are watching might be in jobs and might be thinking about, well, could I start a business? Can I start a business? Is that for me? And we'll talk a little bit about that this evening, just share a bit of my experience. So yeah, it's getting quite late in the UK, so bear with me. But I wanted to get this out to you tonight. Just make a note while a few people join the room. Just put this on a podcast today. So if you go to iTunes or go to SoundCloud and search Career Codex, you'll find my podcast there, and I talk about this and a lot of other stuff. Got a bit more time on that because I like to keep the periscopes quite short. So, bit of an introduction. This is the Super Secret Scope. My name's Simon Gray, and I run a business called Career Codex. It's called the Super Secret Scope. Hi Natalie, good to see you online. That puts me under pressure. The reason it's called the Super Secret Scope is because I'm the author of 2 books. I'll just show you this very quickly. This is my credentials. I wrote this book called Super Secrets of the Successful Job Seeker a couple of years ago. And more recently, I wrote this book, Super Secrets of Successful, Executive Job Search. And the reason I wrote these books is because I spent about 10 years in the recruitment industry, ran my own business, started my own business actually in a recession, but I'll talk a bit more about that shortly. And I wanted to help as many people as possible to find the jobs that they deserve, because my belief is that you serve before you sell. So if you can put a message out there that helps people, generates some rapport with them and can help educate them, then at some point, you've got a business. You may not make money to begin with, but that's not what it's all about. So I have this thing which is serve and then sell. Don't worry, I'm not going to sell anything to you tonight, but you might want to go and buy my book. Although you can get a free copy of the new book if you join my webinar this Thursday or Friday, going out at 7:30 GMT on Thursday, and I think 4 o'clock GMT on Friday. So let's get into the meat of tonight's subject. So normally I come onto the scopes and I talk about how to find success in the job market. So how to decide what job you want, then how to go out there and find it, and then once you've found it, to actually go out there and secure it ahead of the competition. Because for any job that you go for, then there's probably quite a few other people going for the same job. So I'll show you how to get ahead of the pack, not only to find the job, but then get the job. But tonight I want to take a different slant and talk about an alternative to a job, which is entrepreneurship, which means starting your own business. So many people, a lot of my friends, they talk about starting their own business, and they've been talking about it for years, but they don't take the necessary action and don't take what is essentially a risk to go out there and do it. And this is maybe a mistake. Hello from Russia. Wow, there we go. This is maybe a mistake, because my belief is that you've got one life, and in that life you have to burn your light as bright as possible for everyone around you as well as for you, because by burning your light as bright as possible and being the best you can be, whether it be in your business, in a job, then you influence people around you, and that energy radiates and people become better who are around you. So I've always been quite into the risk. I don't mind, starting. Hello from Brazil. Wow, fantastic. This is a full international compliment tonight. Can't answer that question. Not quite sure I understand that question, but thank you for asking it. So let's talk about business. I'll give you a very quick overview as to my background. Trained as a chartered accountant, went to work for a recruitment company because I didn't really know what else I wanted to do. Fell into recruitment, as many people do, and then I went and had a life experience in Japan. Went and did something called the Yoshinkan Senshisei program, which is a 11-month boot camp with the Tokyo Riot Police. And if you want to read about this, there's a book called Angry White Pajamas, which I read, and that's why I went out there to do it. It was one of the best experiences, but the toughest experiences of my life. But ran out of money, came back to the UK, and in September 2008, I started my own business with 2 colleagues. Now, type in the chat box. Anyone tell me what happened in September 2008? Anybody? Well, I'll tell you. financial crisis. And what happens in a financial crisis is everybody battens down the hatches and nobody does business, or people don't do as much business as they normally do. Exactly, the crash. Problem with Periscope, you can't see people's names. Is that Digivesta? Yeah, the crash. But anyway, persevered with this business, and 5 years on, the business is successful. I decided to exit and move on and do something different, but the business is still going strong. So I wanted to talk to you about some of the things that I advise businesses on now, and I'm a non-exec director for a couple of businesses. And the first thing when you think about business is positioning. So how do you position? Hi Deborah, good to see you on here. So how do you position your business successfully? So the three things I'm going to talk about: positioning, promotion and performance. So positioning is the first thing, because many people come into the business world and they think, yeah, great idea to have a business. Let's look at what everybody else is doing and let's actually take the best from each, and let's copy what this person's doing, and this person's doing, and blend it all together, put it in this big blender, blend it all together and make my own business. The problem with that, it's not really positioning, and people can see through that. They can see you're a amalgamation of other people's ideas and inspiration. So when I talk about positioning, what I mean is to observe what the competition is doing in your space and then do something completely different. And as a quick example of that, when I started my own recruitment company, in recruitment, most people focus on the clients because the clients pay the bills. So what we did in the business that I got off the ground with my two colleagues is we focused on the candidate to say, well, actually, if we focus on the candidate, well, the candidate at the senior level is the client anyway, but we're reaching them in a completely different way. And that's the reason I wrote my first book, Super Secrets of the Successful Job Seeker. What better business cards to actually educate and advise the people that need your information the most, who are ultimately your client. And there was a lot of instances where people would ring up the company and say, I've read the book, I want you to do my recruitment for me. It was a business generator, but a completely different stance to everybody else that was totally client obsessed. And don't get me wrong, you've got to focus on your clients, but if you can treat them differently and approach them in a different way, well, you've got a USP, you've got a niche. The other thing when people start a business, in my experience, is they're open to all offers. And what I mean by that is that they've said they're going to do this, but then somebody knocks on the door and says, can you just do this for me? It's not quite what you do, but can you do it anyway? And when you start your business, of course, you're in the business of making money. You want to make your first fee, or you sell your first product, or whatever it is. And of course, you're tempted to say yes. The problem with that is that you become a generalist, okay? You become a generalist. And if you become a generalist, then you compete on price at some point down the line. So my advice is to have a niche. So say you're going to focus on a particular target audience, target customer, and define that target customer. With this book, focus very, very much on senior executives. These people earning £100,000 a year that need my help. It enables me to market it to a target audience to get a better result from that marketing. So somebody's asked me how I was different. So it's a really good question. So in the recruitment space, because the client pays the fee, people, generally in recruitment, people market to the client, they advertise to the client, they wine and dine the client, they look after the client, because the client makes the decision on who to hire. Which recruitment company to approach, and ultimately who to hire. So what we did in my business is to say, well, yeah, the clients are great, we're going to look after the clients, but if we focus on the candidates, the people registering with my business that often got forgotten in other businesses and really looked after them, when they got jobs, whether it was through me or through somebody else and became clients, where are they going to go? Who's looked after them? You know, we all have this thing that, you know, we can be turned off somebody so easily. And the people that look after us, we tend to remember. So my approach was to focus on the candidate. The candidate would become a client and they'd knock on my door because I'd looked after them when they needed my help. So that was positioning. I'm going to talk about promotion next. So many people think promotion is advertising. Now, let me ask you a question. You know when you watch the TV? When you watch the TV and you see the adverts come on in the break between the program that you're watching, what do you do? Does anyone watch those adverts? Anybody? Type in the box, yes or no. Watch the adverts? I certainly don't. I've got Sky and I forward fast through them as fast as I can. Because we walk around in a world now where everybody is trying to sell to us. You pick up the phone at night, had one of these calls tonight, somebody trying to sell something to me. You've got billboards all over the place. You've got advertising on the TV, the radio. What we've done as human beings, we've become great at adapting. That's what we do as human beings. And we've started to filter this stuff out. So we no longer hear it. So when you promote your business, you've got to promote your business in a different way. You can't sell. If you sell, you're just adding to the noise, adding to the clutter out there. And he or she who shouts loudest generally gets heard. And when I started my recruitment company, there's some big players out there with deeper pockets than I had that could shout way louder than me. So there was absolutely no point trying to compete with them. So what promotion is about is, having got your positioning right, is then promoting in a different way and focusing on education rather than selling. So what I mean by that is, if you can educate your customer to a certain degree, if you can talk to your customer, give them valuable information that helps solve their problems or gets them to achieve their goals, because we're all consumers because we want to solve a problem or we want to achieve a goal. That's it. That's the only reason we're consumers, to solve a problem or achieve a goal. So as a business owner, if you can put content out there that helps people get a certain way to solve their problems or goals, then who are they going to think about when they need your help? When it's time to buy, who will they think about? I can tell you they'll think about you. So it's a thing called inbound marketing. Put a lot of content out there, information rich, helpful, give your best secrets away, give your best advice away, give it all away, because people will start to buy into you. And when they need your help, you'll be there. They'll come to you. Because, we could all spend a huge amount of money advertising to an unknown customer, but we don't know when that customer is ready to buy. If we educate our customers so well and create value to the customer so well, then the customer is going to be ready to buy because they're going to come and tell us. We don't even have to look for them. I wrote I don't know whether any of you blog out there, but blogging is hugely important. I do video, I do Periscope, I do podcast, I do all of this stuff now. But I wrote a blog post last week and it absolutely blew me away because it was about the 3 mistakes that executives make. Target audience, senior executives, 3 mistakes. Ooh, curiosity, what are the 3 mistakes? And I had, in the space of 3 or 4 days, over 1,500 people view this blog. I had 150 likes, which means it goes into their feed to say, wow, we like this. Actually, it doesn't go in the feed, but they're acknowledging that they like it. And Facebook says, wow, this must be good. Let's keep churning this thing out. And tremendous reach. I had a guy contact me from, I think it was Brazil. I know somebody on the line from Brazil today. I had a guy contact me from Peru, just to say that they enjoyed the blog and found it valuable. Now, they're not my customers now. They may never be my customers. They might know somebody who could be my customer. And at some point down the line, they might just contact me out of the blue and say, Simon, do you know what? I need help either to start a business or I need help with my career. Help me to find a job. So promotion is about education, number 1. And promotion for me is not advertising, but it's about telling a story. And the more places you can tell your story, the better. The press, the media, editorial, not advertorial, editorial. So real content where people are interested to hear your opinion. Blogging, Periscope, video is hugely powerful. One of the guys that contacted me through LinkedIn the other day, he said to me he'd watched my Periscope, which was on my Facebook page, because he wanted to see what I was like. And we're all curious, aren't we? That's one of the reasons LinkedIn is so successful, because you've got an image on there and people can see what you look like. Well, this scoping business, this is new technology. If you look at the majority of scopes that are out there at this time now, it's not education. It's kind of people bored and talking about a load of nonsense. Well, increasingly more business people are going to get involved with this stuff. And some of the leading lights in the States, who I follow and who I read their blogs and listen to them, they're already on Periscope and they're doing daily scopes. And those who get with the technology tend to win in the business race. So that's one of the reasons that I'm on here. Anyway, conscious of time, I want to talk about the last thing, performance. So we talked about positioning, we talked about promotion. We're going to talk about performance now. So performance is things like pricing. Performance is the education and training of your people. So I've always worked in service sector businesses. So I've never sold products. I work in service sector. And if you invest 2 hours of your time to educate your people, well, that's exponential growth in terms of their education and development. And they'll go off and do a load of great stuff for you based on that 2 hours. So you've got to invest in your people. And in terms of your pricing, if you've got a quality message, an educational message, well, just because you're a new business doesn't mean you have to price yourself way below the market. You know, what's to stop you pricing at the top of the market? Because pricing is a reference to quality. And if you position yourself as a quality brand, a quality product, and provide quality education, then the performance of your business is going to be far, far better. So if you're thinking about a business, and if you are thinking about starting a business, just type in the box. Type in the box. Because the big thing that stops people starting a business is fear. Okay? Because fear is a more powerful emotion than hope or aspiration. We'd rather want to, and this comes back to caveman days, we'd rather run away from the dinosaur than sometimes go out and hunt for food. So you've got to be conscious that fear is going to try and stop you, but you can never let fear win. And in actual fact, if you go out there bold and brave, communicate your message, do it with authenticity, with confidence, and do it on a regular and consistent basis, you'll start to build a brand and you'll start to build a message that people want to listen to. So what I want to do now is I want to talk a little bit about how you get an idea for your business. Because, you know, gone are the days of, you know, you're not going to go out there and invent the wheel or invent the iPad or invent the TV. You know, these are gone. You might get the next technological breakthrough like Periscope. You might get it. Those guys spent 12 months building this thing and made $100 million. That's not bad, but that's not everybody. So if it's not that, and you're not waiting for this big idea, where do you get inspiration from? And I just wanted to share my opinion on where I get my inspiration from, in the hope that it might help you get your inspiration and your ideas of what your business might be and where you can position yourself in the marketplace. So the first thing I wanted to talk about with regards to inspiration and ideas is everybody has a time when they tend to get most inspired, or time when they tend to get most ideas. And it's about looking internally to see when that time is for you. Now for me, I know this time is probably first thing in the morning. So if I decide I'm going to lie in bed till 9 o'clock, which I can't generally, then I'll thank you, Digvester. Yeah, if you follow on, click. If you're on an iPhone, click to the left. Follow on, or follow me at Career Codex on Twitter. You'll get the next scope. Good to see you on the line. So what I tend to do is I get up early in the morning. If I lie in, then I'm going to miss that golden opportunity. When the world is quiet, my brain can expand. It's first thing in the morning. I'm not tired. That's when the ideas start to come. So there's a time when you're going to be most inspired. And it might be now, late at night in the UK, or getting late at night, or it might be first thing in the morning. You've got to know what that time is. And you'll know because that's when you get the ideas. The next thing you need to think about is the location where you get your ideas. And some of you are going to laugh and smile. There's a few people I know on the line who are probably going to get to know me a little bit better in the next couple of minutes. But I get inspired first and foremost at the, thanks Deborah, yep, see you soon. First and foremost at the gym. So when I go to the gym and I'm on the running machine, I have ideas flooding into my head. Sometimes it gives me a headache. And the reason I have ideas flooding into my head at that time is because I'm not in the work environment. I'm not in the same office space. I'm out and about. I've distracted my brain by doing physical exercise. And sometimes when you do that and you relax a muscle, your brain's a muscle at the end of the day, suddenly it's free to roam. It's free to go out and think for itself. It's free to have ideas creep up on it and pop into your head. And these are the ideas that you need to capture. This is when your subconscious mind comes to life. This is when you get most of your ideas, when you're not actually thinking of your ideas. And think about sometimes when you're looking for inspiration, you're at work, you're in the office, and the idea pops in your head the next morning or that night. It's because you're not in the office environment. You're in a different space. So for me, it's the gym. For you, it could be somewhere completely different. It could be driving. It could be having dinner with your family. It could be anywhere, doesn't really matter as long as you know where it is. And the second place is in the shower. So first thing I do in the morning, get up, have a coffee, get in the shower. That's when the ideas start flooding in. So important thing with these ideas is that you capture them. Because my belief is that the majority of people have fantastic ideas each and every day. But most people, they go into the head and they pop out the other side and they forget to capture them. So when I'm in the gym, sounds strange, I know, I carry a notebook, a piece of paper, a little pen, and I write the ideas down. So I've got them. When I'm in the shower, I come out of the shower, write the notes down. So I've got these things and then I have the power to act on them. So when you get these great ideas, you've got to act on them. The final way to get inspiration is to discuss the ideas that you've generated through the things I've talked about or your own specific things and discuss them with people. Because in conversation, you get some great ideas because people bounce back. It's a two-way conversation. One of my major breakthroughs in this book, Super Secrets of Successful Executive Job Search, is something called the Executive Job Seeker Dichotomy. And the inspiration for that came with talking with one of my private clients who said something to me that made me have that eureka moment to say, that's it. That's the golden nugget. That's the golden framework that I need to put my message out there. I need to put my message out there and talk about this thing, because that's the thing that will resonate mostly with the people who need my message the most. So really important stuff. So get your inspiration. Well, think about your business. Think about your positioning, think about promotion, and think about performance of you, your people, or whatever else it is. And then get inspired, get some ideas, and think about the time you get your best ideas. Think about the place you get your best ideas, and then note it down, and then take massive, massive action. Because so many of us have great ideas, but we don't do anything with them. We go back to the day job. We're not brave enough to take that next step. My view is, we all have a fire inside of us. We all have a light inside of us. We've got to make it burn as bright as we can for us, for our sanity, for those around us. And if we do that, we'll have happy, fulfilling lives. And happy, fulfilling lives resonates with everybody around us, and we'll be successful and we'll be happy. And happiness is, what's success? Success isn't money. It can be, but success is happiness. And if money comes as a result of that, as a result of pursuing your passion, then that's hugely important. So we're nearly on the half hour. Massive action. That's it. Massive action, Natalie. Massive action. So we're nearly on the half hour. If anyone's got any questions, just fire them in now. But I'm just going to wrap up with a couple of points. So if you've liked this scope, if you're on an iPhone, I'm on an iPhone. Swipe to the left. Just follow for next time. If you're on Twitter, which I think you have to be on Periscope, if you follow @Career Codex, you'll get an alert next time. I'm doing one of these things every day, or trying to, unless I get distracted with other stuff. If you go to facebook.com/Career Codex and follow on there. As I said, I think at the start, I'm doing a webinar, a free webinar. Anyone who attends the webinar and is there at the end will get a free copy of this book, digital copy. We'll talk about everything to do with the job market and how to stand out in the job market. So if you'd like to join that, it's on Thursday and Friday of this week. If you go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Career Codex, you'll be able to see a link there and to do that. So thank you for joining me. I've had people from Russia, Brazil, all over the place tonight, and I'll see you on the next scope. Take care. Bye bye.